How's everybody doing out there in YouTube land? I am here today for Vinyl Update, showing my most recent finds, I guess. What I have been doing, or what I almost always do, is I'm showing you my recent finds, but a lot of times in the stack that I have, I start from the very back and take some to do the video instead of the ones that are in the front that are the most recent. But in this case, these are the most recent ones that I found this past weekend. And I just have to show them because one especially, I have to show because I just can't believe that I found it at a thrift store. Blows my mind still. I had to, but anyway, let's move on, and I'll talk about that when I get there. So, first things I got, these are all from the same Goodwill that I went to this past weekend. This is Lemon Piper's Jelly Jungle of Orange Marmalade on Buddha, and Shoe Shine Boy on the other side, which I don't think I had this one, believe it or not, out of all the Buddha records I have. And then this Brian Hyland Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini on a 45, no less. And Don't Dilly Dally Sally. I was pretty surprised to see that. As well as this one, Rolf Harris Timey Kangaroo Down Sport. And the other side is Nick Teen and Al K. Hall. Sort of a rare one, I thought. This one too, Lonnie Donegan, Does Your Chewing Gum Lose Its Flavor on the Bedpost Overnight. And of course some of these aren't in the original sleeve, but and Aunt Rhody is on that side. And then the last 45 here, actually I think that I grabbed this one from a previous stack, but anyway, this was cool to find nevertheless. Steve Martin, Dentist, and the Dentist dub on the other side. This is from the Little Shop of Horrors. I couldn't think of, I was going to say Rocky Horror Picture Show, but it's not the same thing at all, is it? Well, they're both musicals, but on to the albums. Pick this up. It's called All Alone in the End Zone, Jay Ferguson. I'd never seen this record. I have two other Jay Ferguson records, and the one that you probably would know him from is the song Thunder Island, which is one of my favorite songs from the 70s. It's one of those songs I never get tired of, you know, which I have a bunch of songs like that. Wanda Jackson, Country Gospel. Didn't realize that she did any country gospel. She's probably one of those artists that dabbled in everything, like Loretta Lynn, I'm assuming. And this is on Word Records, so I guess she was an actual gospel artist for I don't know how long. It seems like they all go through that phase. This has looks like two sleeves in it too. Is that two sleeves? It is. Okay, did this one have a sleeve? Yeah, this one had a sleeve, but it wasn't, I didn't put it back in the sleeve. And everybody out there is just thrilled to watch this video of me talking about the sleeve that I didn't put it in. And then this record here, none of these are in this, that one is. The Amboy, I always call the group the Amboy Dukes, but here it says Amboy the Dukes, but I guess it's supposed to be the Amboy Dukes. Journeys and Migrations. This is the double album. And the Amboy Dukes was Ted Nugent's original band. This is him right here. A very young Ted Nugent. I'm sort of surprised to see this one too, because I don't think I'd ever seen it before. And it actually had both records in it. The records are pretty pristine, aside from the usual dust that you see on records at a thrift store. but no less at a thrift store. I mean, and I don't think this has, oh, let's see. Yeah, it actually does have Journey to the Center of the Mind on it. I was so excited to get it, I didn't even look at the uh, song listing. It also has Baby Please Don't Go, which was another song of theirs, that version of theirs that I really liked. The other ones I don't recognize, but either way, I mean. And then I'll set that aside. I might be using it here in a minute. Then I picked up this Todd Rundgren's Utopia. Actually, this one's just called Utopia. It's called Raw, is the name of it. And I want to say I have one of their, I have several Utopia albums, but I want to say I had another one that had a similar cover like this one. It's very possible that I could be thinking of the, might actually be the same album, but there's the inner sleeve. It sort of looks like it's written on parchment. I don't know if they can pick that up on the camera, but I like his music because it's a little strange. Authentic sound effects. I don't know. This is volume 3, but let's see. I'm trying to think. It just says, don't see a. It says Elektra Records. There's the list on the back. And you see these from time to time. And I have passed them up before, but I thought I'd pick these up. This one's also volume 3, but it's a different record company, pretty sure. This one is AF Records. This is 1962. It actually has the date on it, amazingly. But this is the one that it was featured in Cool and Strange Music Magazine in one of their episodes, or one of their issues, rather. That's why I'm familiar with that one. Ethos, they stuck the 99-cent right over his face. I have one other album by this group. It's a similar cover, similar artwork, but not the same. And his nipples there are Star of David. It's an idea. Maybe I should go do that. But this is a rock band, for lack of a better way to say it. This came out in the 70s. Yeah, 76, I think, on Capitol. It's probably sort of a Rush type of thing. That's just my guess. Because if I ever listen to the other one I have, I don't remember. But I don't remember a whole lot. This was probably the first one that I found. No, this was the second one I picked up out of all this stack. Minnie Pearl. Laugh Along with Minnie Pearl. Minnie Pearl. And I'm pretty sure this is my first record by her. It's on Hilltop. Just because you don't see them. There's the sleeve. It's on Capitol. Well, actually, the sleeve is Capitol, the record's Hilltop. I said that, didn't I? You got it falling apart here, but actually the record's not in too bad a shape, considering. This was the first one I picked up. Stars. I guess it says Alabama, Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis, and the weird thing is Orion. It says Orion right here, and there's a picture. I don't know if you're familiar with Orion. It's Jimmy Ellis is who it was. He was on the Sun label, and this record's on the Sun label, which is pretty cool. I'd never realized that Orion had did compilations with other artists. I mean, as far as like, I knew they had patched his voice together with Jerry Lee Lewis and some other Sun artists and made it sound like he sang with them, but that actually never happened. So this was probably to cash in on those things that they were doing. But yeah, he does 2 songs on here, and then you have one by Johnny Cash and a couple by Alabama, a few by Alabama, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins. So if you haven't seen the documentary, the Orion documentary, it used to be on Netflix. It might still be on there. I think it's called The Man That Would Be King or something like that. It's a very weird and sad story of his life and his tragic death, and the similarities between him and Elvis is really ridiculous. Then I picked this up, Holt's The Planets. And I have a couple, at least one or two other versions of the planets, but I just love the cover of this one. It has the symbols on the back. There's the zodiac signs in the middle there, or in the gatefold. It's a regular sleeve. There's a label on Chandos. I guess how you say that. And I had more records than this in my stack, and I went through them, and I think one of them was scratched. I don't remember which one it was. And then I put back a few other ones too, because, I mean, believe it or not, I am selective. Louis Armstrong and the Good Book. I'd never even seen this record ever. I mean, not even, didn't realize it existed. But, you know, this was way before my time. This is on Decca. And I don't normally pick up Louis Armstrong records, but for some reason I was just, you know, certain things hit you at certain times. And I've seen them and I'm thinking, well, if I don't get those, I'll never see them again. Swing Low, Sweet Chariot's on here. That's the only one that I'm super familiar with. Just basically gospel stuff. I like Louis Armstrong. And then this one here I'd seen before, Hello Dolly. This one's probably a little bit more popular. That one's probably a little harder to find. This is on Cap Records. This one has, of course, the title track, Blueberry Hill. Jeepers Creepers is a great song. His version especially. It says he was born on the 4th of July in the year 1900. I did not realize that. And now for the finale. This is amazing that I found this at a thrift store. And the condition of it. You know, for the price. It was 99 cents, just like all the rest of these records. I intentionally left the sticker on because I didn't want to take it off before I did the video, because I want everyone out there to believe that I actually got it at a thrift store. I have two other copies of this. I have a copy that I got, which is a reissue from the 80s or 90s, I'm not sure. I'd have to look at it. And then the one that I recently picked up is from the Record Store Day release. This one came out in the 70s. This version is a 70s reissue. Captain Beefheart and his Magic Band Trout Mask replica for 99 cents at a thrift store. It's in mint condition. It has both records in it. And see, this is like one of my favorite albums. So that's why I'm going gaga over it. It's on the straight label. So, you know, I think now I could be wrong, but I think the original one was on Bazaar label. It could have been on straight. I mean, I should know that, but I should know a lot of things. But this one is reissued. It says 76 and 77. But look at that. 99 cents. I mean, it has a little bit of a bend right here. But, I mean, it has a little bit of ring wear. And I had just said, me and Kat was watching some videos on YouTube, some vinyl videos. And we watched one that somebody had posted, and this was in the thumbnail, so that's why I clicked on it. And they were talking about, you know, the records that they bought and how they got ripped off somehow. And sometimes, you know, they didn't check the record, whatever. And the record that she was showing, I can't think of her channel's name right off. I'm sorry. My memory's terrible. it was the same record, but it had a lot of ring wear on it. It was a very used copy. And I had said to Kat when we was watching the video, it's like, I'd really like to find one of those. Uh, she said, I thought you already had that. I said, well, I do have that, but I don't have an original. And for some reason, I'm really stupid, but I know there's other record collectors that feel this way. I really want an original and a used, like a worn copy. I like the ring wear on records. And certain records, I want the original and I want the reissue. I just, But this one, and then I found this one, I think 2 days later after we'd watched that video. So, it's crazy. It's just crazy. Anyone out there that's never heard this record, if you like weird stuff, if you like avant-garde music, experimental, you might like that. Some people love it. Some people really just can't stand it at all. So I had it on Kat's iPod. I put it on there, and I think she listened to it once, and she says, "Can you take that off my iPod?" I said, "Well, you have to sort of listen to it. It has to be something you have to live with for a while to digest it, to appreciate it. And some people can't get past the first listen." I don't remember if I took it off her iPod or not. But still, there's my vinyl finds from the most recent trip to Goodwill. And it's a Goodwill that I don't go to all the time. And I just like, hey, I'll go up there, after work one day. And that's what I found. So you just really never know what kind of stuff you're going to run into. Thanks for watching, subscribing, and, please subscribe if you're not currently a subscriber. Leave me a comment if you like that record, Trout Mask Replica, or if you're just a Captain Beefheart fan, what's your favorite record? Because he's put out quite a few. I don't have all of his stuff on vinyl. I wish I did. I have a lot of it on CD, but, Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next vinyl update.